And we are joined again by Michael Kuenzler, the co-founder of All Family Pharmacy. Thank you, sir, for being on the right side of history. And tell us about your experience at All Family Pharmacy, specifically how you have prior authorization requirements from insurance companies, how they interfered with your ability to serve patients quickly and effectively, especially in rural and underserved communities.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously we don't take insurance anymore, but the big topic in the news with Dr. Oz and RFK Jr. is the prior authorizations they're trying to get rid of. And it would be a huge success for the average American because, the average American, 1 out of 5 does fall into that category of prior authorizations. On our end, when we get a prior authorization for a drug, it's usually a brand, but sometimes it's even generics. The insurance wants you to try a cheaper alternative drug, which, in some cases, that's okay. But in most cases, the doctor feels one medication is specifically necessary for a patient. It's going to cause significant delay for that patient to get the medication. We then have to pass that on to the doctor, get the doctor to do the prior auth, and they don't like doing it because they spend a ton of hours and time. So it actually ends up becoming a mess. It bogs down the pharmacy, it bogs down the doctors' offices, and the only one that suffers realistically is the patient because they don't get the drug they want. Those are one of the top 5 reasons why we don't take insurance anymore. You come to us, you pay cash, but you get the drug you want. It's pretty simple.
And Dr. Oz, as you mentioned, is working on this specifically with RFK Jr. So do you think that insurance companies are overstepping their boundaries between the doctor-patient relationship and between pharmacists who are simply just trying to get these life-saving medications to their clients?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The one thing that I believe is nobody should get in the way of a doctor-patient relationship. Nobody, not the government, not the insurance, not a family member. That decision comes from the doctor and is approved by the patient, right? Nobody should overstep their boundaries in that case. Here at the pharmacy level, we don't overstep those boundaries. If we have questions, we contact the physician directly. If we have concerns, we would contact the physician directly. We, as a pharmacy, do not want to touch what they do in that private conversation with themselves. It's a HIPAA regulation. It's private information. Patients deserve that privacy, and they don't have it anymore because insurance is jumping in the way. The government is jumping in the way. It's a sad thing to watch Americans have to go through on a daily basis now. It truly is.
All Family Pharmacy is really the one online pharmacy that is trying to solve this problem and really getting that corporate interference out of healthcare, out of urgent care, out of the pharmacy level so that you can bypass this, because in some cases insurance want to block you from having specific medications and then you pay directly. So it makes a lot of sense. But how are patients able to choose you and get the freedom they want so that they don't have to fear that corporate interference that they find in so many other areas of life?
Yeah, so we're always going to encourage the patient to have a primary care physician, cardiologist, specialist, what they need for their everyday health, right? They're always going to need that doctor there. But again, they come to us for preventative measures. They come to us for specific off-label or repurposed drugs. They come to us for a numerous amount of reasons, but they're still going to need their primary physician. We're going to need some of that health information, obviously, to accurately determine the medication safe and effective, to determine allergies, to determine the medication we're going to give them is going to help them and not hurt them. So we're always going to encourage that. But at the same time, we're here as a pharmacy, and then we provide the doctor as well, to get the patient medications they like to try, get patients the medications that they think would be best fit for them, or to get, an antibiotic for flu season, to get Tamiflu on hand for flu season. I bet you 65, 70% of patients out there can go to their doctor right now and say, hey, I just want a 1 unit dose of, or 1 5-day regimen of Tamiflu come flu season, just in case to have in my cabinet. The doctor's going to say, no, when you get the flu, you come and see me.
And you specialize in off-label brands and repurposed medications that other insurance companies might, again, try to prevent their patients from obtaining. But they're often backed by evidence and critical judgment, are they not? I mean, sometimes people are worried about taking the right to try, if you will, just as President Trump has led the way on this.
Yeah, we love that he's really, really geared on jumping into the right to try. When you have no other options, you should have the ability to right to try. It should take away all liability from any provider, whether it's a doctor, a hospital, or a pharmacy. It doesn't matter. They should have that ability as the right to try. And they should have that ability even before, palliative care or when it's their last decision. So we believe that here at the pharmacy level, we work directly with patients on how to take off-label or repurposed medications safely and effectively. We try to guide them in the right direction, as well as the physicians we work with try to guide them in the right direction. So we're trying to put everything in place to make sure that you're knowledgeable about the medication you're taking, you're knowledgeable about the side effects, and then you're knowledgeable about, daily lifestyle while taking the medication. And those are the important facts that we want to give you.
Now, ivermectin, that became a lightning rod during the pandemic, and many Americans still see the value of those off-labels, as you were just describing, Michael. But does All Family Pharmacy help guide patients directly towards ivermectin or other medications that reflect your commitment to that medical freedom, the choice that should be in our healthcare without this interference that we see from third parties?
Yeah, we're going to guide you in what we feel is, or the physician feels is the best available medication that you need. For instance, a lot of patients are taking ivermectin and some other medications off-label use or repurposed drugs for, certain things like cancer and COVID. The biggest thing right now is the cancer protocol. And we're not out there to advertise and tell you to take it. We're there to help you if you need it, help you if you want it. We don't want to force anything upon anybody. We want you to make that decision yourself. We encourage you to do your own research. We'll help guide you to find the research. We'll help you find a health coach if you need it. There's a lot of physicians out there that are willing to help. There's a lot of pharmacies like us that are out there willing to help. And we're probably at the top of the list when it comes to these specific protocols. So we don't just do ivermectin. We do other medications, bendazole. The new popular one is the methylene blue. Methylene blue has been huge in the instance for neuroprotective properties, cognitive effects. This is something RFK Jr. is pushing, and, we want to help people get the knowledge that they could use for the off-label use, which we're now getting more and more data as we grow, seeing that we're seeing some success in certain areas.
Now, for patients that have lost their faith in the healthcare system in America, how can All Family Pharmacy help them specifically with online ordering options and their overall health? And are there any new products or services that are out there that support the mission of being informed, like you just said, with methylene blue? Very exciting. I don't think a lot of people know about it. On top of simply getting the exercise and the fresh air they need on a daily basis, that might help their mental health.
Yeah, mental health is big right now, and it's always going to be a big topic moving forward. We have so many new drugs like the methylene blue and the NAD+, which we're big fans of for the cognitive support, the cellular support. The methylene blue, even off-label use, has some sort of cancer support, right? It helps keep the cells alive. That is the major function of what it does. And that's why a lot of conservatives are taking methylene blue. There are so many conservative companies out there that are selling methylene blue, right? Most of them sell it over the counter. Nothing against over-the-counter vitamins, supplements. We sell prescription strength, USP grade methylene blue. It's compounded here in the pharmacy. It's overwatched by a pharmacist. Everything we do is safe and effective. And we guide you on how to take higher doses. Patients aren't just taking 10 milligrams. They're taking 30, 50, 70 based on, their weight for these more in-depth cognitive effects and neuroprotective properties that it has. So there's a lot of medications we're starting to add to the website that are even bigger and better. We're really keen on getting everybody's maintenance meds that they use for their overall lifestyle at a very, very aggressive price. As we know, we sell blood pressure, we sell cholesterol, stuff that people take on a daily basis. We sell it in 3 months supply, 6 months in a year. That also helps mental health, right? You have a peace of mind that you have the medication that you're on for the rest of your life in your cabinet, a year's worth. So you don't have to worry too much about going to the pharmacy. You don't have to worry about your insurance covering it. That is some of our biggest things here is we push is, peace of mind, having an antibiotic on hand. So we've got a lot of bright things coming in the future as we grow with our patients. I look forward to the end of the summer where we start rolling out some new stuff. And we're always going to have, new drugs to add, stuff that we're finding or people like RFK Jr. are finding that are really helping the everyday American.
And everyone can find right now for a limited time, actually 20% off their entire order with code RSBN20 at allfamilypharmacy.com/RSBN. Michael, actually a personal question for you. What inspired you to be the co-founder of this wonderful organization? And are there any side effects to this medication? I know methylene blue has sometimes the urinating of the blue color, but still, again, I mean, fighting those cancer cells, it's really second to none when it comes to your overall health.
Yeah, the methylene blue headache is another one. Obviously, the urination discoloration is one. Ivermectin, upset stomach, dizziness. Every medication has so many side effects listed. So, for liability purposes, we have to go in a big, deep talk about 200 different side effects that are possible that they list. So, every medication has its side effects, but we're here to help you, guide you through the side effects, how to guide you around them, what we can do to support them if you need it. We at All Family Pharmacy, we grew because doctors didn't want to prescribe medications that patients wanted to try. Safe and effective medications. This isn't, oxycodone. This isn't causing a pandemic where people are dropping dead. These medications have been around for 40 years and they've saved millions of lives. That's not a lie. Millions of lives around the world. These medications, again, they're safe and effective. We push that. We let you know that. The fact that a doctor says you're not a horse, don't take a medication is silly. It's stupid. It's disrespectful towards the patient, right? You shouldn't treat your patient like that. You should give them guidance. You should give them insight. And that's what we do at All Family Pharmacy. We don't treat you like that. We treat you like family. That's it.
Truly a group of doctors and pharmacists, nurses, and those outside of the medical field but want to be involved in helping people, changing the lives of everyday Americans at All Family Pharmacy. Michael Kuenzler, thank you for your time, and we look forward to having you back on RSBN very soon.
Yes, thank you. I look forward to it. I always enjoy these talks.